Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Nathaniel. Nathaniel is from England in the UK. So let's see what Nathaniel has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hey, William, how are we doing?
Hello, Nathaniel. I'm very well. How are you doing today?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Who are you?
Good, yeah. It's been a nice day today. I think we have a long weekend now, bank holiday on Monday, so it feels good.
Yes, absolutely.
So how about you? What have you been doing today?
I've been working, mate. Just been working. How about yourself?
As well, I've just been working as well, and now I'm just at home doing some interviews and relaxing now for the weekend.
Nice, nice.
So tell me, where are you from?
I'm from a little town just outside of Halifax in West Yorkshire.
Okay. Born and raised there?
Yes, born and raised here, yeah.
And what's the best part of living there, in your opinion?
Tough question. Tough opening question. Probably the scenery.
Mm-hmm.
Yorkshire has got some breathtaking views, lots of rolling hills, and it's just unique and special.
Amazing. And tell me, what do you do for work, for living?
So I am a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
I run my own network marketing business. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Social media advertising and yeah.
Actually, I was checking your profile a little bit, and I saw a phrase there that would you like to start the interview reading, and you just tell me about it, okay? So it says there, I help other people to create their own freedom.
That's
So
right.
tell me a little bit about it.
Okay, so part of what I do within network marketing is I advertise on behalf of companies, or advertise a business model
Mm-hmm.
that is partnered with companies within the health and sustainability sector.
Okay.
And part of me helping other people create their own freedom is I advertise on Facebook, on Instagram. People come through my ads.
Mm-hmm.
They join my team. They start their own business. That business will generate them an income, which then means they can create their own freedom by, well, earning ample money that will replace their full-time or current full-time income.
Amazing. Wow. And so you are connected with different companies that they contact you and you kind of help them to expand their business.
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, I work with one company.
Okay.
And their commission structure pays really, really well. So that helps.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely helps. But yeah, it promotes health, it promotes sustainability, and I can get behind that because I want to help as many people as possible whilst also doing my part to save the world.
Amazing. Okay, so during the journey, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your career, about your life, your adventures as well. Okay.
Very cool.
Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
I cannot wait, my friend. I cannot wait at all.
Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I've got here this magic box. From the phone questions. So I'm just going to play a song now just for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. Okay, Nathaniel, before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Yeah.
Right. First question for you is, what's your ideal life look like?
Okay. So this is something that I talk about quite a lot. So for me, my ideal life is I'm away in my camper van, traveling, full-time, permanently, full-time working online, waking up on a beach, like waking up in my camper van on a beach, just being laid in bed, hearing the crashing waves, hearing people outside playing and just having a good time, and then getting out of my camper and just being able to feel that heat and that freedom to to not be bound to one location, to be able to get up on my terms when I want, to go have a coffee, to get some exercise in the morning, and then just relax on the beach and just have pure tranquility and peace within my life.
Uh-huh.
Without sort of the noise that comes with commuting to anywhere or working within an office space, or just daily life in general, because it's so noisy.
Mm-hmm.
Always something going on around us. So to just sort of step back and slow everything down and work at my own pace, on my terms, on with my rules, sort of that's the dream.
I feel already relaxed. Just listen to you describing it.
Absolutely.
Actually, I'm gonna today I was checking your profile, and actually I saw that stories about your van life, yeah. And I made a note here because I'd like to ask you about it. So tell me, when the idea came along, what was the idea of creating a van where you could travel, you could live a life in there and enjoy the journey?
Okay, so initially, the original idea came to me in, well, it's not my original idea, obviously, it's happened for decades before me. But in 2019, I was scrolling through videos on YouTube and I saw a van conversion video and I watched it, and it just mesmerized me that how much people could get into such a small space. And I've always been quite a minimalistic person. I've never been too fussy for possessions and that sort of thing. So I looked at it and thought, I'd really love to do that. I want to go traveling. That's the perfect way to do it. I'm not one for jumping on a plane and just living out of a rucksack. I do want more than just a rucksack of things with me, but having a vehicle that can get me to and from places and provide accommodation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want. That's what I want. So obviously 2020, not the greatest year in the world, but the blessing that came from that is I'd already started saving to buy a van.
Uh-huh.
So come May 2020, I'd had sort of 2 or 3 months at home where I wasn't spending anything. So in May 2020, I bought my first van.
Wow.
I'd converted it by the July. And then in the September, I went to Scotland for 2 weeks and traveled around Scotland, and it was beautiful. But then when I came home, I was like, right, next step, what do I need to do now? I need a bigger van. How am I going to get to a bigger van and do it that way?
Mm-hmm.
So that took me a couple of years. It was January 2022 that I got my current van. And then I set myself a really short deadline to convert it into a camper van. So I gave myself 3 months. Did that, and then that's where the journey's really kicked off. And I've grown into it more and more. But yeah, that's been the journey with it. It's just been magnificent because it's given me such a sense of freedom
Mm-hmm.
that I've never really experienced. Like last year, I went to France and Spain on 3 separate occasions. Each trip was different.
Yeah.
But it was also extremely enlightening in the pace of life was slower, but everybody was so accommodating of me at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Van life in the UK is difficult.
Mm.
It's made difficult because you can't always park in places. In France and in Spain, they make it easy for you to do it.
Right.
So it's a completely different experience in this country than it is out of this country. But it's just been, yeah, a phenomenal journey so far, with more journeys to come.
Amazing. I checked out a little bit your videos and I was like, oh my goodness, I hope he's writing, making some notes, make some videos to make something out of it in the end, because I think those journeys always, they're memorable moments that, is a journey of life that it's going to stay in your, in your mind, in your you know, in your life forever, because I got goosebumps now saying that, because it's really powerful. You know, you need to explore, you need to live a life, as you said, like living the ideal life is about doing something that brings you joy.
We get very caught up in living for now, but trying to photograph every opportunity instead
Yeah,
of living in the moment.
sure.
What I found is it's quite a tough balance to be in these beautiful locations and want to film it and want to photograph it. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I also want to be in that moment and really enjoy everything that's surrounding me.
Absolutely.
That's what technology has done. It's great having a phone where you can photograph everything you've done and you can video everything.
Absolutely.
It's also so beautiful to just be present in the location you're in and
Mm-hmm.
really enjoy everything that's surrounding you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I can't wait for you to in the future write a book or something about it, so I can kind of read it and see and feel the moment reading it, for sure. Next question. Let's do it. Right. Next question is, what makes you really angry?
That's a tough one because I've been on a journey of self-development over the last 6 to 9 months.
Mm.
And what I've learned over that time is that anger and frustration doesn't actually suit me that well. It's not, if I'm angry, it's not got my best interests at heart.
Mm-hmm.
But what I actually do now is if a situation occurs,
Yeah.
I have a little sort of flow chart that I work through. And that is this thing true? And then yes, then let it go. Or sorry, is it true? No, let it go.
Yeah.
Is it true? Yes. Right. Can I control it? Yes. Right. We'll do something about it then. Can I control it? No. Let it go. There's no point sweating small stuff. There are worse things happening in the world than anything that could happen to me. And anything that happens to me in a moment, I am prepared to deal with it in whatever way. If it's something that somebody else has caused, then I'm not always fully aware of their perspective and what has caused them to do what they've done. I don't know what's happening in their life. They might have just had a horrific phone call, a horrific experience that's caused them to act in a certain way.
Yep.
I don't know that. So I don't get angry. I've always been quite a mild-mannered person. Even from being a child, I was just relaxed and calm, and I like to think I've carried that through into life. Patience is one of my greatest skills.
Visible. It's visible. It's funny talking to you. I couldn't see you angry. Like you passed this, you know, this calmness, this way of being calm, and you know.
It's one of those because I am a kind person and I'm a very patient person. But what that also does sometimes mean is that if I do snap, it's scary. But I don't shout. I don't get angry. My eldest niece is 14 years old.
Uh-huh.
Shouted at her once, and it terrified her. She said to me afterwards, "Uncle Nathaniel shouted at me today," and my brother turned round and went, "You've done something really badly wrong then, because he doesn't shout."
Uh-huh.
But I always have been calm. I've always been patient, and they are probably two of my greatest attributes. And one of my previous managers years ago actually described me to a new starter as the king of cool.
Wow.
He is as cool as a cucumber. You won't faze him. And I think that's a testament to me, but also a testament to my upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't have room for anger in my life. And it's your life becomes so much more harmonious when you don't allow anger in, because there's nothing to be unhappy about. Life's full of so much, and there's so much of everything in the world for everybody, that just being happy is enough sometimes.
It's interesting you're saying that, because as soon as we start talking, I felt that, you know, of course, I like literally start talking to you. I thought, oh, maybe he's very relaxed for some reason. He just finished a long day. Now he's just literally sitting in his sofa, or like, you know, he's on his peace mood. But it makes sense now. Now I understand.
Absolutely.
Next question. Let's do it. Right, before the next one, what's the best part of being a business coach? What do you like the most about it? And the flip side, what's the most challenging part?
The best part about it is definitely helping people.
Mm.
So helping people, A, realize their dreams, but B, helping them on their way to achieving their dreams is just so enriching, and it is just a beautiful, beautiful thing to help other people. On the flip side of that, one of the worst things I would say is people who aren't ready to take action.
Mm-hmm.
So I predominantly want to work with action takers, people who are just ready to go, let's do this, let's go now. So one of the worst side of things would be people who, and this is not their fault, but maybe hesitant, maybe are time wasters, maybe aren't as willing to commit to doing something and taking action straight away, because time is money, and I value my time more than anything else. That's something you have to do as a business owner, is value your time. So when I'm putting time into people, or put my energy into people, and that's not reciprocated, or I feel like my time's being wasted, I would say that's probably the worst part of it. But that's quite infrequent. I find that more people are actually ready to dive into something. They've got to that level where they think, I need something to do, and this is what I need.
Okay. Next question is, who would you swap lives with for a day if you could?
That's a good one. Any kind of high-level athlete. So probably a Formula One driver. I don't know who. Sort of one of the top drivers, so like a Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen. So one of at that level, or even their bosses, so Toto Wolff, Christian Horner, to see how they operate on a daily basis, because they are high performance, high level, and the media scrutiny that they're under, I'd love to see that from their perspective, because I can imagine it's quite tiring. But they're also in a position where they can spread their message and they can deliver so much. It's quite a balance. I'd love to just see how they manage their time, what their routines look like. So yeah, I think high performance, high level athletes. If I've got to go with one, we'll go with Lewis Hamilton. Pretty cool just to see a day in the life of Sir Lewis.
Actually, I never thought about that, and it makes sense. Imagine like being their lives for a day. My goodness, on those, would be like a lot happening at the same time, like everything.
I mean, I've watched Drive to Survive on Netflix, so I've seen bits of how a racing driver's day looks, but just the exercise and the fitness regime they have to be on to be in the condition that they're in. That scared me a little bit the first time I saw that. It's intense, but it's everything else. It's diet, it's mindset, it's everything that comes with being at the pinnacle of a sport that just captivates me.
I'll tell you. Have you ever heard about Ayrton Senna?
Yes.
Have you seen the movie Senna?
I haven't, strangely. I need to
Right.
watch it. It's on the
Right.
list.
Please watch it, because you have no idea. You have no idea how inspirational is that movie. Oh my goodness! I remember watching it, and I'm from Brazil, originally from Brazil, and I remember in 1994, like when he said passed away. But I remember growing up, and every Sunday, the whole Brazil was literally, there for him, like Senna, like cheering up. He literally put a smile in people's face. Imagine like 200 million people in one country, and he was there, and everyone was cheering up for him. So you need to watch Senna. You're gonna go like crazy about it, because it's so interesting about being persistent, like not give up. I remember there are moments in the movie that any other person in the world would go like, okay, done now. I cannot do anything about it. And he did it. Like, you have no idea. Like, you need to watch it. You need to watch it, because actually I have in DVD here somewhere, but it's a movie that it left a big impact in my life. Like, I remember watching it. I was like, I was in London actually in the cinema. I remember when it came out, and I was like, wow, that's some. I felt very proud as well to be Brazilian at the time, because I'm like, my goodness, it's nice to see, nowadays, like, he passed away so many years ago, and still, like, you can read about it, and you can, there's a lot of things out there. So yeah, watch it and let me know after what you found.
I will do. I will do. It's on the list.
Next question. Right, next question for you is, what made you laugh last time?
The last time I properly laughed, it was been last weekend, and with my nephew. So he's 3.
Oh,
And he's just the most beautiful little boy in the world. But I'm fortunate that my nephew and my 2 nieces were staying with me, and he's so happy just before going to bed, sitting with me, putting a film on, watching a film, and he would just sat. Oh no, he wasn't just sat. We put a film on, we put Pinocchio on, and he was just jumping up and down on the bed, and the just natural joy
mm-hmm.
in his face at doing something as simple as jumping on a bed, and the pure innocence of a 3-year-old. It's just so beautiful to behold.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, everything about him just makes me laugh, because he's just brilliant. My nieces are as well, but they're older, so that magic, that sheer beauty is sort of gone a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly with my nephew, it just makes me laugh all the time, because he's just funny.
Do you have just one brother, or have other siblings as well?
Just one brother. Just one brother.
What's the biggest difference between both of you, and the biggest similarity?
We are completely different.
Yeah.
We were younger, we didn't even look the same.
Wow.
Same parents, but we didn't look anything alike. I've always looked like my mom's side of the family. My brother always looked like my dad's side of the family, which is fine. That happens with genetics. It's understandable.
Yeah.
As he got older, we grew closer.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we've got older, still, we've gone apart again.
Of course.
We now look the same.
Really?
Yeah. So that's probably our biggest similarity now.
Uh-huh.
Our biggest difference is just probably our temperament. I've always been, like I said earlier, really patient. He's always had a really, really short fuse.
Ooh.
So that's probably one of the bigger differences between us. We're both generous, we're both kind, we're both loving.
Uh-huh.
And that's, again, credit to parents, because we were brought up in that kind of environment.
Nice.
But yeah, I think just our patience levels are completely different.
Wow.
But yeah, that's
Very good.
Quite well, actually.
Ready for another one?
Yeah, sure, let's do it.
Next question for you is, if you were to raise a child, what are the most important things would you like them to learn?
I would teach them their true, or to respect their true worth, to never settle for less than they deserve, and also that they are worthy and that they are enough. They don't have to go to any extent to prove themselves to anybody apart from themselves. But even then, they don't have to prove themselves. And they certainly don't have to be anybody that they're not to gain the friendship or love of other people, because the right people will love them for who they are.
Very good. I think they're the basics, isn't it? About let them know that they can be themselves always.
Absolutely. But
Like
that gets lost on the way sometimes, which is sad.
Yeah, you were saying about you have a 3-year-old niece, a nephew. I have my godson as well, 3 years old. My godson, he's back in Canada. He lives in Canada with my best friends, and it's something that I always I don't see him very often as you do, but it's something that I'm always gonna all the time when he start growing up, understanding about life. That's what I'm going always make him remember. Be yourself. Always be yourself. You know what I mean? I think if we teach them very early age for them to understand that, you know what I mean? I think they're going to be more confident about themselves in the future when they grow up. That's what I believe.
Absolutely.
Because if you kind of children, they learn a lot, you know, they trust you. What to tell them, what to explain to them, they learn because they trust you. So I think that's something that I always will point it out for sure.
Absolutely.
Next question, Nathaniel. Before the next question, tell me one of you, of course, my goodness, you might have a lot of stories to tell regarding your trips, yeah, in a van.
Yeah.
Tell me a story, a situation that you go like, you know what? I'll never forget this moment. Something that happened, something that, you know, anything that you go like, okay, that is a special moment.
Yeah. So on last summer, last May, I went to the Spanish Formula One. And I drove down to Barcelona, drove back from Barcelona, and it was an ideal road trip. For the last few years, I've wanted to visit a village in France called Oradour-sur-Glane.
Mm-hmm.
And Oradour is a World War II martyr village that the Nazi SS soldiers went in 1944.
Mm-hmm.
And they decimated this village. Every man, woman, and child was basically murdered. They were shot on site in the church, and then the soldiers burnt the village to the ground. The French government preserved the village as a living museum. They didn't rebuild anything. They built walls around it and preserved it, and they rebuilt the village across the road. I visited there last May. I was on my way down to Barcelona and I stopped off on the way. And that single experience taught me so much about the brutality of man. But it was also what the most moving experience of my life, being in a village where such atrocities took place, but where it's been preserved. So there's burnt out cars on the road. There's houses that have very small cribs or small beds that are on the ground. And there's a mausoleum which has got children's toys in there that have been preserved and put into this mausoleum. And it's for the wrong reasons. Probably it's probably one of the best places I've ever visited, because it was so moving and picture this village and how it will have been even 10 minutes before the events took place there. You could imagine how the village was, how it operated, where the baker was, the library, the post office, the school, the train station, everything's still there. And it's been preserved in time. So yeah, I'd go with that. That's like the one trip that it'll stick with me forever.
Wow.
Because it was such a somber and humbling experience.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it was beautiful to experience it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, probably Orada Saglan by quite a distance as well.
Let's see. Okay, thanks for sharing. Next question is, if someone come up to you and say, Nathaniel, you need to remove forever from your phone, yeah? YouTube or all the other platforms on social media, like altogether, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of them, all in one go, or you can choose YouTube. Which one would you delete and why?
It's a tough one because just this week I've deleted most of my social media off my phone. I would say YouTube, because I don't use it too often, but I also need Instagram on my phone for work. So Instagram has to stay. I can live without YouTube. If I need to watch a video, I've got my laptop. I'll be fine. But if I'm out and about, my phone is business, ultimately.
I see. All right. 3 questions left for you. Let's do it. Right, Nathaniel from England. Next question is, what's the best compliment have you ever received?
Okay, so I was in Birmingham in February, and it was a business event I was at, but we were doing what we called a love shower, where we had to sit and just be grateful for what was being said to us from peers, colleagues, other people within the room, and just all we could say was thank you. And a lady who I had never met opened up and just went, look, we've not met, we've never spoke, but you have got a presence when you walk into a room that everybody just stops, looks at you, and you light up the entire room. And it's hard not to just smile when you walk in.
Wow.
And that is probably the best compliment I could ever receive.
Wow.
Because I've always thought of myself as a bit of a wallflower. I just blend in. I'm not extrovert. I'm quite introverted.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't ever aim to make a show of myself or be like, whoa, I'm here. I just meander in. So for somebody to say that I light up a room just by walking in it, I've never noticed that. So that was quite moving to hear, and actually really nice to hear as well at the same time.
Absolutely. And what is more powerful, it is someone that you never met before. You know what I mean? That she felt that. It's like, wow, that's something really, really powerful. And I think you said about being introverts, you know, you have your own way. And to be honest, that's how, you know, the light comes out, because you know nowadays, you know, with the world we live right now, everything's so fast, everything, which is not wrong. I think we are just living the world that's it's happening right now. You know what I mean? Absolutely. We are kind of, you know, navigating with the world right now. And to see someone, you know what I mean, kind of, as you said, introvert, you know, you don't want to show off, you want to be just yourself. People spot that, and that's why the light comes up and people they spot, because something genuine. That's what I believe as well. And you're just being yourself. And I think people, even when they don't know you, they can feel it when someone is literally being themselves. Nice one. Very nice. 2 questions left. Let's do it. before the last question, tell me when you had the idea to, to start traveling in your van, to, put everything together. What was the most difficult part?
Most of the build, to be honest. I had no experience with electrics, no experience with joinery, no experience with plumbing, and I've done it all.
Wow.
So I've got 2 solar panels on my roof. I've wired them up. My lights run off the battery. I can charge my phone in there, charge my watch, can charge my laptop. I've got running water. I cut a hole in my roof and I put a roof vent in so I can get air in and out of the van. I installed my heating system.
Wow.
So all of that was a challenge because I had zero experience and no skill. But I've done it all. And that's testament to anybody that thinks they can't do it. They can. You've just got to be of the mindset that you are going to do it. And then miraculously, you do. And plus, YouTube's a fantastic resource. There are so many videos on YouTube that will show you how to do it.
Yes, I wish when I was growing up, I mean, not I wish, but I remember there was no Google, no YouTube, everything you need to, nowadays, you just type in there, that's it. Everything's there.
Absolutely.
Right, next question is, what can make you cry and what can make you really happy?
They're probably both the same thing, actually. I wanted to be really, really broad with this and just say life, but I don't feel like that's a good enough answer. So, I mean, it is the answer I'm going to give you. Life is enough to make me cry, and it's also enough to make me really happy. I know that my life is full of abundance, and that makes me so, so happy. Like I said earlier, there is enough of everything in the world to go around for everybody. Everything's limitless. Love is one of those things. Happiness is another. Money's another. Knowing that can also make me cry because I am so happy that all of that abundance surrounds me that it makes me cry, but it makes me cry happy tears. And I think a lot of people forget that you can cry when you're happy too.
Totally.
It's associated with being sad, but all the time I cry now, it's because of my vision that we mentioned earlier, waking up on a beach. That vision can make me cry because I believe in it so much. But I'm not crying because I'm sad. I'm crying because I'm so happy because I know that that's what I'm chasing after in life. But I also know that that's what I'm going to get.
See.
Yeah, just life. Life makes me happy, but it makes me cry as well. But it makes me cry happy tears.
Totally. And it's such a good cry, and you feel like so happy inside that you're crying. It's powerful. Nathaniel, ready for the last one?
I am, yeah, let's do it.
Last question. Right. Before the last question, as a business coach, people watch the interview right now. They would like to get in touch with you. They'd like to maybe to work with you or, to do some partnership. What's something unique or different about working with you that they cannot find anywhere else?
I am, as we've mentioned, authentic. The version of me that people are seeing now is me. This is how I am. I'm also really knowledgeable about things, which I've learned more and more over sort of the last few months, that I absorb information quite well. And I'm just a nice person, if I'm honest. Like, I'm kind, I'm honest. I give my time generously to those who deserve it. And at the same time, I am also northern, so I am direct. I will say it as it is. Some people love that, some people hate that. And I'm not naive enough to think that everyone's going to love me and everyone's going to hate me. But if someone's out of line, I'll tell them they're out of line. If someone's done well, I'll tell them they've done well. I shoot pretty straight all the time. So yeah, that'd be the sort of the benefits of working to, I think, is that I am just honest, I'm knowledgeable, and I care. Like I want the best for everybody, and I want everybody to have exactly what they want.
And for sure, they're gonna feel very relaxed talking to you and get your relaxation, the way you talk.
Absolutely.
Last question for you is, tell us about your first kiss and your first love.
Ooh, first proper kiss or just first ever kiss?
First ever kiss.
Okay, I was
Actually, as you mentioned that, the first first ever and the first proper one.
okay, first ever was while I was in infant school. I was 4 year old. Like I was a dot. Um, but me and the girl, we just got on really, really well as children. We from being 3 year old through to 11 year old, we just got on.
Oh wow.
So that was my first ever kiss. But as a small child, it's meaningless.
Yeah.
First real kiss. Oof. I will have been 17. Yeah, I don't remember too much about it. I'd been speaking to a girl online and we decided to meet up, spend a few hours together, and yeah, it just happened. There were nothing too special about it, I don't think. Certainly don't remember it particularly well. So it
Mm-hmm.
was
For the
six,
moment.
yeah, it was 18 years ago, so I don't remember it too well. I've slept a lot since then in 18 years, but yeah, it'll have been special at the time because it was the first ever kiss, but I think you lose sight of memories like that because it is what it is, isn't it?
And it was your first love as well?
No, 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 no. First love. That's a tough one. Um, the answer should be myself.
Of course.
It should, but it's not. Uh, yeah, my first love was probably my first real girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, the time we spent together was maybe not as frequent as it should have been, and we
Mm-hmm.
probably weren't together as long as we should have been, but we were young. I
Yep.
was 19, so
Wow.
she'll have been 17 or 18 at the time. But yeah, no, I'd have done anything for her. Like knowing what I know now, going back to then, it'd have been completely different.
Totally. Totally.
But yeah, there was just something about her. We got on really well, and it was effortless.
Mm-hmm.
Like the relationship didn't really take work. We just got on. We were just happy, but for some reason it didn't work out. Our paths were just completely different at the time.
All right.
It's one of those things, isn't it? It happens.
Absolutely. Before it's not the end yet, let's go now for the word association game. I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Yep.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Let's start with money.
Abundant.
Family.
Love.
One word for love.
Everywhere.
Life.
Easy.
Sex.
Overrated.
Politics.
Messy.
Religion.
Faith.
Fear.
Misguided.
Friendship.
Valuable.
Desire.
Worthy.
Regrets.
Non-existent.
Success.
Everywhere.
Happiness.
All around.
One word for van life.
Exciting.
One word for England.
Difficult.
As we are approaching very soon the coronation, very soon. One word for royal family.
An asset.
And the last one now, business coach, one word.
Teacher.
Amazing. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your brother for a coffee and I'm going to ask him, define Nathaniel in one positive word and one negative word only, what he would say.
Kind.
Mm-hmm.
And a negative. Ooh. Not as present as he should be.
Good one. All right. Let's play now Nathaniel and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. All right, you can ask me a question now.
Okay, so knowing what you know now in your life, if you could go back to when William was a child, what is one piece of advice that you would impart to your younger self?
Wow, lovely question, lovely question. Right, okay. I can tell you straight away. Growing up, I come from a poor family, but I always had everything. I didn't have any luxury, but I had everything. I had freedom. I had my parents. I had a good education. I had, when I say freedom, my parents, they always let me be what I was, and I remember looking back now, I totally understand, because I see situations in other people's lives and everything, and I go like, wow, I was very lucky for me to be the person, the way I've been brought up. It wasn't easy, of course. I had my challenges. I had my a lot of challenges as well as everyone else. I had up and downs, things that I could understand, things that I could understand. Wasn't easy, but was right at the same time. But if I could give based on that, I did actually. My mom told me that one day, but I didn't get the information. But I would repeat myself, and I would maybe try to learn that. I remember once where I come from, the first time I saw the sea in my life, I was 18 years old. When I finished high school, we went to excursion, because where I come from, the closest seaside is 2 hours by plane. So at the time, growing up in the 80s, it was luxury for people to go to the seaside, to the beach. So for me, it was kind of something impossible. And I remember once I saw my neighbor. They were kind of rich, so they could travel during the summertime to the beach. And I remember once, I remember more or less, but I remember asking my mom, I would love to go as well, because I could see them packing, organize everything, and I felt so happy seeing them, going to the beach. And I didn't feel sad. I felt happy, because I felt, oh my God, how is going to the beach? And I came to my mom and said, Mom, I would like to go to the beach as well. And for sure, for her, it broke her heart, because, for her to hear a child, saying something like that. And I remember she said to me, my son, one day you're going to see the sea. One day you're going to see a lot in your life, one day. And I said, okay, fine. And I carry on. I carry on with my life. I went to play. I went to do my things, because, as I said in the beginning, children, went to tell them, they believe, they trust, they believe, And she was so right. She was so right, because nowadays I can get emotional, because it's so powerful. Nowadays, I not just saw the sea, but as well I've seen the world. Somehow I've been living away from Brazil for the last 20 years. And, you know, and as a child, my dream was to live in a country where I could speak English every single day because I was passionate about the language. And here I am, living a dream. I can speak English every single day of my life. So I could, the advice I would give to myself all the time, I would just phrase more. If Mom, you're right. One day I will. And so I think I would give this advice to myself. Calm down, you know, live a life, be happy. And one day you're going to do it. One day you're going to go. Just trust yourself. So yeah, I would go back to that moment, and I would just be more, yes, you're right, Mom. I will one day. But again, I didn't feel sad or anything. I think for my mom it was sad to hear that. But for me, I was just like, oh my God, I'd love to go to the beach as well, Mom, with Dan, or, you know, somehow. I just said, no, don't worry. One day you're going to go. One day you're going to go. And I said, okay. And I carry on with my life, you know. So, wow, what a question.
Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, then back to you, everything we said, you know, as an adult, sometimes we forget about this inner child that we always had that, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's good for you to remember and to go into it because it's very powerful.
Yeah, definitely.
Nathaniel, did you enjoy the interview?
I've absolutely loved it, my friend. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much for taking the time, for being so kind, and to accept my invitation as well. But before you go, if you can share a positive message or something that you live by.
Yeah, certainly. So there's one quote that I live by, and it's from Henry Ford. And that quote is, if you think you can, or you think you can't, then you are right.
That's amazing. I love that, actually. Wow.
Yeah, I've been testament to that with the things I've done, especially with my van. I thought I could do it, and I did it.
Uh-huh.
The only time the only time I can't do something is when I think I can't do it. And then guess what? I'm right.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Thanks so much. Regards to your family, and we keep in touch. And good luck with your travels. And please keep everything up and after, but all together for people can enjoy your journey in the future.
Absolutely. Obrigado. Thank
De
you.
nada. Take care, okay? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.